Hi guys, Ms. Raymond here. Now today we're going to talk about naming acids. We're not going to do too much with naming acids, and there's really two rules only, which are really nice, but you do want to have your periodic table handy to do this. Now there's two main types of acids. The first type is binary, and remember we said before that binary basically just means that there are two different ions together and there's two different elements together, versus one that would have a polyatomic ion. So you can see here that all of these just have two elements that are together, so this is binary. The key to this is that we're going to use hydro first, then we're going to go ahead and we're going to name the anion, but we're going to shorten it and we're going to end ic at the end, so blank ic at. And then at the end of that, we're going to say acid. So it'll be hydro blank ic acid. Let's see what that looks like. So the very first one you may have heard of before, hydrochloric acid. So we have hydro, and then we go ahead and take this as chlorine, so we call it chlor. We add ic to the end instead of chlorine, so it's hydrochloric acid. Now let's see if you could try the next one. The next one we have hydro, because it's an acid. Look at S on the periodic table. Now it sounds funny to say sulfuric, so it's instead of sulfic, we say sulfuric acid. So it's hydrosulfuric acid, because it sounds funny to say hydrosulfic, so we say hydrosulfuric acid. Now you go ahead and pause and try the next two. Alright, so in trying these last two, HF is hydrofluoric because it's fluorine. HBr is hydrobromic because it's bromine. So all we're doing again is we're adding hydro in front. We know it's an acid because it's starting with hydrogen. Then we have our anion that we're just going ahead and we're just changing the name to bromine. Instead of bromine, it's bromic. And then we're adding the acid at the end. The next type of acid involves a polyatomic ion. Notice that there are more than two atoms in each of these, so you know that you have to have some type of polyatomic ion. Now the way to remember how to name these, the first part is that if the polyatomic ion ended in 8, then we're going to go ahead and we're going to change that to ic. And kind of a cheesy way of remembering it, but if you ate something bad, you're going to go ick. Now the second one is that if the polyatomic ended in ite, we're going to change that ending to us. And there's really a cheesy way of remembering that. My kids a few years ago made me come up with a way to remember this. And don't laugh, but basically I said, ite, come with us. I know, it's really bad. But hopefully it'll help you remember that ate to ick and ite to us. Now, there's not going to be any hydro, so we do not have any hydro involved here at all. It's only going to be the polyatomic ion changing to either ic or us, and then we're going to have acid afterwards. So let's see what that looks like. So now if we have a polyatomic ion, as we said before, it's ate to ic, ite to us. We do not involve hydro, so it's no hydro, that's only for binary acids. So instead, we look at this polyatomic ion here, it was called chlorate. So it's ate to ic, so it becomes chloric. If we go ahead and look at our next one, ClO2 is known as chlorite. And remember, it's ate to ic, ite to us. So since that's chlorite, we're going to go ahead and name this chlorus acid. So ate to ic, ite to us. See if you could do the last two on your own. How did you do on the last two? Again, it sounds funny to say sulfic acid, so we say sulfuric acid. And it sounds funny to say sulfus acid, so it's sulfurous acid. And again, remember that there is no hydro. Hydro is only meant when you have just two atoms together like we were talking about in our previous slides. Good luck.